Hello, I welcome you to one of our core teachings. Today is a Tuesday, and this is Language Joes, an academy of knowledge economy. My name is Josephine, your digital professor. I'll be talking today on 7 approaches in philosophy of religion. Like I've always said, this academy, we release videos twice a week, Tuesday for teaching, and Friday, what we call Friday Tonic. This Tuesday is very special. It's special really because I think it's the last Tuesday, not even I think, it is the last Tuesday in the month of April. God has been so good to us. I give glory to God for enabling us, for protecting us, for saving us from all the kinds of evil in this world. Here we are, and I can even still be able to join you from Austin, Georgia, United States of America. I welcome you to my channel. The approaches in philosophy of religion are not limited to these 7 approaches that I'm going to enumerate here today. But these are major and very critical approaches in philosophy of religion. Like I've always said as a teacher, I like bullet points. I like to teach. This academy is for in-depth understanding of our courses. So rather than just teach offhand, I like to share my PowerPoint presentation so that those who are watching, or so students, they might take their pen, they take their paper and jot down certain things. And then there will be no explanation or no giving excuses that, oh, I didn't hear what the digital professor said there. Can somebody help me with it? But when you see the bullet point of what I'm going to say, then you can take note yourself. So I'm going to ask you now to take your pen, to take your paper, and join me as I present the 7 approaches in philosophy of religion. 7 approaches in philosophy of religion. The very first one is Continental Philosophy. And I'm going to quote some of the sayings of Richard Kearney. He defines continental philosophy as a patchwork of diverse strands. That is, it cuts across so many other approaches in philosophy, like phenomenology, hermeneutics, existentialism, structuralism, critical theory, and deconstruction. These are some of these salient movements which have developed in continental Europe between 1900 on the 1990s to like 1967. Continental philosophy was coined primarily by departments of philosophy in the Anglo-American world that broadly contrasted and compared it with philosophy in the analytic tradition. For those who are familiar with philosophy or philosophy of religion, they know we have something we call traditional philosophy or analytic tradition philosophy. So in order to differentiate the type of philosophy from the analytic tradition, that's why it's coined continental philosophy. There, like I said, you have existentialism, which already features an approach in this lecture. I'm going to talk about it. I said continental crosses across some of these things. Existentialism is one of it. But existentialism on its own is also an approach in philosophy of religion. Phenomenology features also as a distinct approach in philosophy of religion. Hermeneutics, that began in the modern era with a work of Friedrich Schleiermacher in 1768 to 1834. Then we have the critical theories also, which denotes the approach to sociology and to the philosophy of the social sciences. I'm not going to go into that now. It's just for information. Also, I mentioned that continental philosophy even includes the structuralism. The construction represents a first strand in continental philosophy, and in the eyes of Western critics, it tends to swallow up the conscious aims and judgments of human authors in an endless way, signifying systems. The same thing with structuralism, which is also an aspect of continental philosophy. But now I'm going to the second approach, which is empiricism and rationalism. Empiricism, at its broadest and simplest, denotes the belief that all knowledge comes through experience. That is what because when you talk about empirical formula, all knowledge comes through experience. In practice, this means that knowledge comes as sense data through one or more of the 5 senses, like your sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. It therefore stands in contrast to rationalism and to theories of innate ideas. When you're talking about innate ideas or rationalism, at times you might even go into like intuitive knowledge, intuitionalism. But empiricism is not like that. You are talking about empirical things. So you ask to touch through experience. It must be something you have sense, you are hearing, your touch, your taste, or your smell. The third, existentialism. The first explicit use of the term existentialist or existentialism came from the Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard. His thought was closely bound up with his life and his early rejection of second-hand values that came when he discovered that his father, whom he had idolized all his life, was guilty of having an immoral affair with his housekeeper. He was shocked. The image he had kept of his father for these years was practically shattered. From then onwards, he became determined to reject all second-hand assent to other people's values. That is, you cannot tell him, oh, this person, this is how this person is. This is the character or reputation of this person. That is from you, rhetoric. Somebody is passing down the values of another through to him. All second-hand assent to other people's values and ethics, but to discover truth purely for himself. Since the issue of his father, he made up his mind that nothing anybody says about anyone means anything to him. He must find for himself the truth of that person. And this became the center of the existentialist approach to life and thought. Feminist philosophy, which is the fourth one, the 17th century witnessed many demands for the recognition of the status of women. Decades after decades, women are so marginalized. Even in some countries, or sometimes when they count people in census, they don't count women. And I can give you an example, even in the Bible, when they say Jesus Christ fed 5,000 people with those two little fishes and small loaves of bread. The 5,000 were men. And you can imagine the women and children that will be there will have been more. But the Israelites of that age, the ancient Israelites, when they count, they do not count women. And that's how it happens in so many other areas in the continent. And gradually, even when they start counting them, they don't give them the right to vote or to be voted for. And that has brought enough of people agitating. And that's why today we have International Women's Day, right from the time of Beijing. So John Stuart Mill placed a bill before the British Parliament for women's suffrage in 1865. And in 1895, Elizabeth Cady Stanton produced the Women's Bible. Emily Parkhurst founded a movement popularly known as suffragettes in 1903. And by 1918, the movement had largely achieved its aim. Nevertheless, a philosophical underpinning of feminism began only in France. First, with Simone de Beauvoir. As a philosopher, she drew on phenomenology and existentialism and collaborated closely with Jean-Paul Sartre. The fifth one is personalism. Personalism in broad terms sees ultimate reality and value in personhood. But it has emerged in many different versions. Most personalists stress the uniqueness and significance of personhood, the importance of personhood, both among human beings and in God as supreme person. However, they often describe God as supra-personal, or beyond and above human persons. So traditionally, philosophers use the word personality, but today, mass media has taken the word over wrongly to signify popular celebrities. The sixth approach, phenomenology. Don't forget that this phenomenology is an approach, and also is even included in Continental Philosophy. But phenomenology is one of the most difficult of approaches to define. Its meaning has varied, not only in the history of philosophy, but also even in a single writer. At its most basic, it concerns the relation between consciousness and intentionality. For those who are taking notes from my PowerPoint, please discount that and. It's not and, it's and. Phenomenology concerns the relation between consciousness and intentionality. That is, be conscious of something. And the seventh is pragmatism, which is the last approach I'm going to talk on today. Pragmatism is a distinctively American philosophy, which looks back in particular to three founding fathers, Charles Peirce, William James, and John Dewey. Peirce insisted that questions of meaning could not be divorced from practice. You cannot be telling me this is the meaning of something, and then you are not putting it into practice. The quest for truth can be pursued only amidst the practical concerns of community life. So in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, Richard Paltrey, to represent a revised postmodern neo-pragmatism, and both maintained that the quest for truth can be pursued only amidst the practical concerns of community life. So in popular terms, something is true only if it works. That is, a truth must be proved that it works. Anything that does not work, you cannot say it is truth. It simply means it's false. So those are the 7 approaches in philosophy of religion. I want you to join me on Friday for a very important topic. I'll be talking with you with advantages of struggles. I'm not going to say much now because I don't want to mix the Friday tonic with the Tuesday teaching. Thank you for joining me today. Catch you on Tuesday. See you on Wednesday. Bye.